Scooters, they've had a life of their own. They went from being vehicles that could be used to go from one place to another to actually being fun. Look at the NTORQ 125. But the masses still want the scooter to be plain and simple. So they want comfort, they want practicality, they want convenience. Now there is a manufacturer that established itself in the 110cc class, but now it is time to upgrade. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the all-new TVS Jupiter 125. The Jupiter is a big name in the scooter business. In a market dominated by the Activa, it is the only 110cc class scooter that does remarkable sales numbers regularly. The Jupiter 110 is a family scooter and the 125 is as well. That's why it looks like your everyday scooter. It's definitely not like the largest planet in the solar system, it's more like Earth. It's hospitable, unisex and designed for your urban adventures. TVS has added chrome, as everyone in the unisex scooter class seems to be as well. But the paint scheme at least is funky. Okay, let's talk about the engine. This is a 124.8cc motor. And first and foremost, TVS are saying that this is a brand new engine. Now, there is a 125cc in the NTORQ. The Raider 125cc gets it as well. They share the same bore and stroke figures, but TVS are claiming this to be an all-new engine. So, how does this perform? Well, I think the strongest point about this engine is going to be the bottom end and the mid-range. So once you start going heavy on the gas, especially at a private test facility like this, things get a little strained. And at about 80-85 kilometers per hour, the engine tells you, relax, you need to calm down a bit. The top speed that I saw on the speedometer here was about 90 kilometers per hour, which is not quite a lot when you're looking at a 125cc motor. That is especially making 8.2 PS, a little over 10 Newton meters of torque. So when you gear up the gas, get into the sweet spot of about 40-50 kilometers per hour, this is where the engine feels the best. And when you look at the masses, this is also the range where most of us will ride it in the city. Let's talk about refinement. Now TVS has come a long way in terms of refinement. And I really love how the RTR 164V, the RTR 204V are refined. But this one feels good, like I said, at about 40-50 kilometers per hour. But even at those speeds, there is some kind of vibration from the floorboard as well as the handlebar. The Hosur test facility has two long straights and a bowl that connects the two. This is a fairly bump-free track and the Jupiter feels nice here. Even in a corner, the scooter stays planted and comes out the other side with ease. We even had the chance to increase the preload on this 3-step adjustable rear suspension where it absolutely felt amazing. Now let's talk about comfort. As you can see, this is a very long seat. If I were to put it into numbers, this is about 65 mm longer than the Jupiter 110. How comfortable is it? Pretty comfortable, to be honest. In fact, we did a pillion test as well, and both of us in full riding gear could sit comfortably. The cushioning is very nice. As you can also see, there's a lot of space on the floorboard as well, and lots of space to scoot around. Also, I'm 6 feet 2 inches tall, and when you're about to negotiate tight turns, the handlebar never gets in the way. There's lots of utility space as well, which means you can carry your groceries on a hook which is on the front apron as well as under the seat. So all in all, in terms of ergonomics and seat comfort, the Jupiter 125 gets a big thumbs up. Now I don't recollect the last time I spoke of a TVS product and not handling well in the same sentence. TVS products have always handled beautifully. It's in their DNA, it's in their heritage, and the Jupiter 125 also gets that piece of pie. Now a large part of why the Jupiter handles so beautifully can be credited to the placement of the fuel tank. Traditionally, the fuel tank is placed in the rear part of the scooter, but what TVS has done is that they've got the fuel tank placed below the floorboard now. Also, for easier access, The filler is right here on the apron, so turn a key and the fuel filler cap opens. Now what the placement of the fuel tank has done is it's got the weight distributed beautifully. Also the center of gravity has gotten lower. So when you pair it with those 12-inch wheels and 109 kilos of weight, I think this is a really sweet handling scooter. Okay, if your question is, has the placement of the fuel tank compromised the ground clearance in any way? Well, the answer to that is no, because at 165 mm, it is sufficient. The braking is pretty spot on too. While TVS has an optional drum variant, we tested the top variant with the disc at the front. On paper, the spec is very similar to that you see on the N-Torq, but the feel is slightly different. However, it is pretty much there. See, there's a bit of performance as well. TVS has gotten the Jupiter 125 up to date with what the other 125cc scooters offer on the market in terms of features. So first and foremost, it gets a part digital, part analog cluster. It's detailed, but I think I still would have loved to see a full digital cluster. I think it would have added to the whole modern vibe of what the Jupiter 125 really stands for now. It does not get Bluetooth connectivity, but TVS are saying that a future iteration will definitely have it. As I said earlier, the placement of the tank has now been moved to below the floorboard, and what that has done is essentially unlocked a whole bunch of space. So 32 liters of under-seat storage. As you can see, my jacket is pretty comfortable in there. Now TVS are saying that this can fit in 2 full-sized helmets pretty easily. We tried fitting in the Arai and it just didn't fit, but 2 ISI helmets can definitely go in there. I don't particularly like the design of the fuel filler cap, but I think it's more for convenience, and it does the job really well. Also, there's a cavity here, so no under-seat charging for your phone. The charger's moved here, and the phone or your wallet can pretty much stay in there. I'm not a fan of open spaces, because if you hit a pothole or if you go over a speed breaker too fast that you might not have seen, there's a good chance the phone's gonna pop out. So apart from this, I think the rest of the features are pretty much up to date in terms of the 125cc commuter class. TVS are calling a spade, and I'm very happy about that. And that's also why this is distinctively different than the N-Torq 125. Its main competitors are going to be the Access 125 and the Activa 125. Well, if I were to buy a 125cc scooter, it would have to be the N-Torq. I think it's the best 125cc out there. But then there's the majority, the masses. People who are looking for space, who are looking for practicality, who are looking for more fuel economy, and of course the convenience of owning a scooter. And to check all those boxes, the TVS Jupiter 125 does that job really, really well. There are 3 variants on offer. The first one, the base one, which starts at 73,000, will get a steel wheel. You get an alloy wheel as the second option with the drum, and then the alloy with the disc, the one that is right here, is going to be the most expensive of the lot. So for what it has to offer, the Jupiter 125 is pretty much there. Time will tell how much it sells and how people accept it. But for now, this is a promise, and it's a real good one. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, share it with your friends. If you have any more questions about the Jupiter 125, drop them in the comment section below and we will answer them. Like, share, subscribe, and you get the message. My name is Varun Painter and I will see you later.